So when Methuselah was a child, it feels like a long time ago, it was actually friend of a friend of a friend kind of thing. It was back in the early 90s, and I'm pretty sure he had to send smoke signals to get my attention, but no, honestly just called and said, hey, there's this person who used to work for me and is now gone into physician recruiting, and sounded really interesting, but I'm not lying. I went on at least 4 interviews before I started to grasp the concept of what they did. That I don't understand. Physicians don't just get jobs, hospitals don't just hire. I didn't understand it, but once I got in and did, I was hooked, and here we are 28 years later. Well, one thing that I have always been very fulfilled by is helping a community. Yes, I absolutely love helping the individual families, helping a physician navigate the process and start a great career, but also the impact that our work has on communities. I have had searches before where it was the first pediatrician to ever be in a town. They no longer had to go 30, 45 minutes away, and just, going down the line. It's those type of stories that get me up in the morning, that I love helping the hospital, the community, as well as the individual families impacted. I do think one major myth is people just assume that as a recruiter, my job is to get them a job, and therefore that can kind of influence the decisions that I make. And that's not really the case. I have figured out through doing this a long time that they are going to either say yes or no. The candidate is going to either say yes or no. And so my job is to just help get them the information so that they can make an educated yes or no. The worst thing in the world is saying no to something and you really don't have all the facts straight. You don't really realize what this job is going to be, or even saying yes for that matter when it's not all the facts are laid out. So I look at it as, yes, I'm going to get paid if you take this job. Yes, that's how I put food on the table. But really, I just want to help you get the information to where you can very confidently say yes or no. So a very strange thing that happened to me early in my career is actually living in Dallas. This was a long time ago. And our physician recruitment firm was based in Atlanta. And one of the guys from Atlanta called me because he was dealing with a physician in Dallas. And he just simply said, something is just not right. The CV looks great, but there's just something not right. And so he made up an excuse for me to go deliver some papers to get signed, just because he wanted someone to meet this person face to face. And so here I am, 25 years old or whatever it was, and they sent me over, and I walk in this house, and at first the couple is just as nice as can be, and we're having a great chat. But as I started looking around the living room, I started noticing that yes, it was full of art, but it was X-rated art. It was really bizarre, like Wonder Woman and Superman doing things that they're not supposed to be doing to each other. And I as a 25-year-old, innocent young buck, I was just like, get me out of here. And so then when I went back and actually shared the story with the other recruiters, the older recruiters, to this day, they still give me a hard time about that. And I know if they ever mention Superman, they are not being a superhero fan. I know what they're referring to. Well, a lot of people call me DT because my name is David Townsend, and they just assume it is a very simple nickname, which it is. But I was actually on the radio for about 7 or 8 years, doing sports talk radio here in the Greenville, Clemson area. And I loved it. And my name on air was DT because we did not think till we were literally going on air that we needed to have a name that first day. So I love talking sports. I love watching all sports. I was especially on there for golf and soccer, 2 of my main loves. But I will watch anything. And so, yeah, sometimes people are surprised. Every once in a while, someone will go, your voice sounds familiar, or your laugh especially sounds familiar. There is one big thing that I learned, and that was somebody just told me at the very beginning, if you go in radio, you will be fired. And what you want to always do is make sure that you are yourself, because it's very easy to be on the radio and talk like or act like, be somebody else that you have heard on the radio who you really respected and really liked. And it's really easy to not be yourself. And the lesson there was, if you're going to get fired, make sure you're getting fired by being yourself, because the last thing you want to do is say, oh, no, that's not me. And I think that has applied to business, is that with everything, if you're going to go down being yourself, not doing what you think someone else wants you to do or being someone else that they want you to be.